What was it like when you went to like the shoe company and the ad agency was in there and they were like, okay, now we've got Little Penny, and that's really done a great job. So we're thinking about, now bear with me here. You're going to dress up like a grandmother with a wig and dunk on people. We'll call you Grandmama. Huh?
Listen, I was before Little Penny. I was before Grandmama,
Okay,
before
okay.
Little Penny now.
Okay.
I started these gimmicks early. Hey, check this out. I got a story. When UNLV wore Nikes.
Yep.
UNLV, so Sonny Van Curry. Remember Sonny?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm waiting on my Nike contract. I'm drafted number one, and I'm waiting on Nike. Sonny to call me, give me a Nike contract. He never called me, Rex. And my agent at the time knew why. And he said, Larry, call Sonny for your contract. I called Sonny, and Stacy done got a contract. Kenny Anderson, number two. All these dudes up under me got Nike contract. I'm like, Sonny, what's going on? He said, Larry, I'm going to tell you the truth. Nike don't think you're going to be a good player. I said, what? He said, Nike don't think you're going to be a good player, and they don't want to sign. I said, all right, but my agent already knew this, and he already had Converse over here. And he just wanted Sonny to tell me. And I'm like, oh, man, all right, Sonny. Hung up with Sonny, no big deal. My agent like, oh, you talk to Sonny? You ain't going to get it? Let's go see Converse. We went down to Converse, which was in Connecticut, and they did not pitch nothing about no Grandmama. They told me, nothing about no Grandmama. They say, Larry, we're going to put you in the commercial your first year. We're going to give you $1 million a year. Nobody's making $1 million off shoes right now. We're going to do it. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm with that. We're going to build your own shoe. And we got this commercial. Idea for a commercial. I said, tell me about it. He said, you're going to be on a gurney covered up. So I'm on the gurney covered up, and two doctors is doctoring on me. One doctor is Larry Bird. The other doctor is Magic Johnson, who was in Converse at the time. And they build in the perfect basketball player, scalpel, this, that. And then they say, we finished, the perfect basketball player. And then Larry Bird said, well, we got to name it. And then Larry said, if we got to name it, his name got to be Larry. And then Magic said, no, Johnson, Larry Johnson, Larry Johnson. And I raise up, and the commercial goes off. I'm like, oh, I'm in. Season starts. 2 months later, they come to me, and that's when I get that. Larry, that one didn't work. We want to put you on a dress. I'm like, what? And they gave me $1 million 2 months earlier. I bought my mom a house. I told them right there, I said, man, if I had that $1 million, I'd give it back to you. I'll give it back to y'all if I had that $1 million. That's when I got that pitch. This is going to be something good, something new. We're going to put you on a dress, how you dunking on. I'm saying, Grandmama. And I never heard of a Grandmama. Now, Big Mama came after that, and Medea came after that. Mm-hmm. But in some of our families, some of us call our grandmother Medeas. Some of us call our grandmothers Big Mama. I've always heard those names. I never heard Grandmama. They the one came up with everything.
That's amazing.
Right. Well, it ended up being a cultural phenomenon, and it's synonymous with you, Grandmama. But and that's great. You know, I love the commercials. I thought, this is different and fun, but the commercial you just described would be the best commercial in the history of basketball.
Ever.
Now, you know me, Rex. I try not to throw salt. I
know.
They told me one of the guys didn't want to do it.
That's what I thought, because I was trying to put together, because at the time, like Kentucky was a Nike school. Mm-hmm. I was a Nike guy. I wore, Nike's all Air Force in high school. And so much the same. And I had David Falk was my agent, and who had Michael and Patrick and Muggsy, who was on our team. And he came to me, Nike. I wanted to wear Nike. Was dying to wear Nikes. They said, well, we just paid this guy a couple years ago, and we're trying to cut back on how much. The guy was Michael. They signed him to this huge deal. Mm-hmm. He hadn't fully blown up into what he was going to become. And so they said, what about Converse? And Al Harden, Roger Harden's dad, Roger played at Kentucky. I knew him. He called up. They had Magic and Larry call. They sent all these big caricature things of Magic and Larry and Doc and me, all this stuff to woo me, and then they were going to pay money. So I wore Converse, and I hated every second of it. Wore it for 5 years. I hated it. I wore 5 years because I was wearing Converse when we were together in Charlotte, and then when I finished, I wore Nikes the rest of the time.
Oh wow. Well,
Crazy.
I enjoyed I enjoyed the commercial. I did it first, but had fun with it. My mom had fun with it. Like little old ladies know nothing about basketball. Go, did you wear it? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I wore the dress.
Yeah.
So I
I
enjoyed
told
it.
my
I would have loved to get more of me though, Rick. You know, I was rookie of the year.
Absolutely.
I'm like, yo, can we do a Larry Johnson commercial? Oh, we got another idea with Grandmama. Like, all right.
But I was thinking that's the only way that wouldn't have gone off, because that was a perfect commercial. And at the time, though, they had already gotten some grief, Magic and I remember Magic and Larry, for doing a commercial together. Like at the time, it wasn't too cool to be, knowing guys on other teams and all of that stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of them, was like, no, I'm gonna play against this guy and blow him up like this.
I'm like, yo,
right?
I'm the rookie. Look out for me. Look out for me. Like one of the guys didn't want to do it.